Hello and welcome to another episode of Blue Alpine TV. In today's episode, we'll talk about some technicalities on scaling Bitcoin, and we'll talk about what kind of new feature Circle has released. But first of all, guys, let's get started with Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. Today, actually, 8 years ago, 22nd of May in 2010, the first ever Bitcoin transaction took place when Laszlo Hanyecz has one of the first Bitcoin developers tested the new network by buying two pizzas. So this is actually marks the 8th birthday. So if anyone kind of talks in your friend circle or timeline about this thing, now you know why. He has actually bought these pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins. So quite expensive pizza, but nonetheless, what is really funny is that Laszlo has actually tried again to buy some pizzas with through the Lightning Network, and he has actually done this and has only paid a transaction fee of 6 cents and has used very little Bitcoin, of course, in order to do that. Nonetheless, you know why today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. Now, before we get started actually with the other news stories, I kind of wanted to make a correction / addendum. Yesterday we talked a bit about Tether. In the last couple of days I've talked a bit about Tether, and I kept mentioning that Tether and Bitfinex are the same thing. Technically they are not. There are no official kind of news or reports saying that Tether and Bitfinex are the same company. Bitfinex, one of the biggest exchanges in the world, and Tether is kind of a stable coin that is, in my eyes, a bit risky. However, in order to kind of get you up to speed, it says here on Wikipedia that two people that have worked on Bitfinex or are working on Bitfinex are actually responsible for setting up the Tether Holdings Limited in the British Virgin Islands in 2014. So it could very well be that they are connected, could also be that they are not connected. As you know, I'm not kind of commenting on rumors, and that's not what I am trying to do here. It's just, for me, it's important to kind of state the facts. That being said, I've found a very interesting video on Tether and why Tether could be a potential risk for the cryptocurrency market. I will share that with you. I think it's a fairly informative video for you guys as well. It's a fairly long, 15 minutes, but I'll definitely recommend watching that. Now, first important news story. We are talking about scaling Bitcoin. As you know, scaling Bitcoin is kind of an issue. In order for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to kind of become daily currencies, really, we need to find solutions for scaling. Currently, Bitcoin can handle only a couple of transactions per second. And if you compare this to Visa, which can handle a couple of hundreds or even 1,000 transactions per second, obviously Bitcoin is far away from that. Now, one of the issues that keeps Bitcoin from scaling is really the kind of data that gets sent in a transaction, and the kind of data amount that gets sent in a transaction that will just clog the Bitcoin network. Now, one of the things or ideas in order to kind of improve this is called Schnorr signatures. Essentially, and it's a fairly technical article, I will link it up, and I definitely recommend, if you're a technical person, give it a read. It's fairly interesting. But essentially, and for the podcast listeners, I'm currently looking at a graphic where it says today's signatures. We have a sender, we have a receiver, and it essentially kind of combines multiple signatures in one. So instead of having multiple signatures in a transaction, or kind of confirming the transaction or verifying the transaction, you have all of those that are, let's say, from the same sender and receiver, kind of confirmed into one. That way you're saving a bit of data as well, and this can obviously add up if you're doing a lot of transactions. So Schnorr signatures are actually one way to scale Bitcoin. There are also kind of potential attack vectors that are also mentioned in the article, so definitely give this a read if you can. It's very interesting. Now, main news story of the day, in my opinion, is Circle. Circle Invest is one of the easiest products when you want to get started with cryptocurrencies, according to a TechCrunch article. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of having a good user experience when it comes to new investors that are trying to enter the cryptocurrency market. Now, Coinbase, in my opinion, to this day is unbeaten when it comes to these things. However, Circle Invest is actually giving them kind of a slow but sure competition. So Circle Invest is the application where you can buy, of course, it's certain cryptocurrencies, mainly the main ones such as Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, and Litecoin, but now also Monero and Zcash. And what they have released now is very interesting. They have created a button that lets you buy all coins available on Circle Invest, weighted depending on their respective market capitalization. The total market cap of Bitcoin is much higher than the total market cap of Zcash, so you'll end up with more Bitcoin than Zcash. So it's essentially like a fund, a diversified fund in the crypto space. So let's say you're investing $100, it will then percentually kind of split down between those, 4, 5, 6, 7 cryptocurrencies, and that's depending on the market capitalization. This could be huge, guys. I believe that we need more user-friendly cryptocurrency exchanges, user-friendly places where you can buy cryptocurrencies, because currently you can buy cryptocurrencies at an ATM, fairly friendly. You can buy them at exchanges, depending on an exchange, not really friendly. And you can use apps like these or exchanges like these where they're just really focused on user experience. Now, unfortunately, the Circle Invest app is not available in Europe yet, especially not in Switzerland. So I'm not able to test it, but I'll try to get some screenshots and share them with you in the Telegram channel. Now, if you're not part of the Telegram channel, definitely make sure that you are part of the Telegram channel. It's of course free. And sometimes I share additional information about news and so on. Now, with that, we're already at the end of today's short episode. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast. See you in the Telegram channel, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.